If you're considering starting an Airbnb or a vacation or short-term rental business, then keep watching as I share with you some things that are very important to know before you get started. Hey, what's up? Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back if you're true. I'm Dara, real estate investor, entrepreneur, and consultant out of Atlanta, Georgia. And let's just get right into it. All of these tips or opinions are of my own, from my own experience. And I have been I am a two-time superhost on Airbnb. I just started not even a year ago, and I have 5 units under my belt. And whew, 1 unit will teach you a lot, so just imagine 5. So in no particular order, here are the things that I believe that you should know before you get started running a short-term rental or vacation rental business. Even if it's not a business, before you even put anything on short-term rentals, this is what you should know. Convenience. Convenience is so important. Convenience for all parties involved, especially you, but also especially the guests. So what do I mean by convenience? You want your check-in process to be as seamless and smooth as possible. You want the amenities that you offer to be convenient and in working order. You can't market and say that you have a TV or a smart TV if it's not a working smart TV. You can't say that you have, X, Y, and Z if these things are not working and convenient for others to use. And going along with the tip of having convenience for everyone, just also note the hook on that is that you cannot please everyone. And your goal is not to please everyone, because it's impossible. It won't happen. So don't even try. Don't go into it trying to please everyone, because you can't. Here are some examples of what I mean when I say convenience, especially with the check-in process, for instance. So one thing that I do is I have my listings very explicitly detailed, but what I learned is that people just don't read, and that's a fact. People don't read no matter what. And so it is there in my listing to CYA, but I want those few people who are going to read to know that you don't have to contact me for any of this, because it's already there in the listing in the house manual for you. So my check-in process is as simple as soon as they book my place, they get an automated email giving them the door code. So what do I mean by a door code? I use an electronic door lock, and the one that I use is synced to Airbnb, thankfully, because that's how they're able to automatically send the code to the guest. So I don't have to think about it. I used to, literally the first month or so on my very first property, I manually entered a code for the guest, and I always made it something very simple for them to remember, very unique to them, but simple again for them to remember. Then I had to take a step back, because that was a lot of work, unnecessary work, I would say. So I use August, which is great in integrating with Airbnb, because like I said, they just automatically email the guest the code, and it spells out how they could use the August lock itself. Now, one thing that I didn't like about August is that the one version of it requires the guest to use and download the August app. I didn't want them to fool around with that, again, because convenience. So I went and purchased they have an August keypad. So I purchased the keypad that does not come with the deadbolt itself, because I personally would not want to fumble and struggle with downloading an app. I don't want to, if I don't have storage on my phone, I'm not going to download an app just so I can sleep at somebody's place, right? So I thought of myself as a traveler, not a guest. So anyways, got the keypad. So the code is generated by August randomly, and the guest gets their 4, 5, 6-digit code, and I never even had to think about it. So it's convenient for them. Now, another thing is that in the off chance that maybe the batteries are low on the door lock or whatever, because it is battery powered, and for some reason the code is not working, happens a lot, trust me. So I do have a physical key that they can use, but that's my last resort, because I don't want it to get lost, I don't want it to get stolen, and I also don't want them to know this code that I never changed. So I do have a lockbox, a physical lockbox on all of my doors, or somewhere around the front, so that in the event that the guest locks himself out, or their code doesn't work, or the electronic deadbolt batteries are dead or low or whatever, malfunctioning, powers out, whatever the case is, unforeseen things, I do have that backup lockbox and then the physical key inside of there. So I have had to use that a few times for guests, but again, convenient. So unfortunately, if the deadbolt was inconvenient for them, never fear, you just got to turn around and there's a lockbox, because I don't want too much, rah going on, trying to get into my unit. Another thing that I like to do for guests to add to the convenience of their stay is to supply them with makeup towels and other things and amenities that one should not expect, but may need or have forgotten when they travel. So Q-tips, body wash, shampoo, all, you name it. The bathrooms are stocked, honey, okay? Because I want their stay to be convenient. Literally come with your bags of clothes, and you have your face towel, you have your body towel, you have your washcloth, you have your makeup towel. I mean, hello. So that is a token of convenience for guests and for me and my cleaners in the long run, because I don't want to have to keep replacing white towels. Another example of convenience is in my listing. Not only do I have several pictures and different angles of the unit, I also have pictures of what is nearby. So is it by the football field? Is it by whatever is by? I have pictures of that in the listing so that they can see that. I also have it in writing that I literally have the distance to all major things that people come to visit for. So my unit is X amount of miles from all of these different places, because I noticed that I was getting those questions quite a bit. So I have it on all my listings, like the distance to all these places. So that's conveniently located for them to see. Also on my account, I have created a guidebook, which is like, for me, I put in all the things that I could think of that you would want to come and do when you're in Atlanta. All the thrills, attractions, restaurants, bars, brunch spots, kid-friendly, family-friendly things to do. I have in a guidebook. So I've had some people ask me like, hey, we're coming for our girls' weekend, or we're coming for our friend's birthday or bachelorette, whatever the case is. What's there to do? If you go to my guidebook, you can just sift through whatever you see and be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, let's go try this place out. And that's another piece of convenience that I like to give to my guests or potential guests. I like to keep my unit, like I said, convenient for all, or my business convenient for all, and this includes my cleaners. So I have, like I said, the electronic door. Yes, it helps the guests for check-in, but it also helps my cleaners because they never have to fumble with a key. They never have to worry about, oh, did I lock the key or whatever. So they have their own unique codes to get into the property. They also have the supply closet just for them, like locked off with an electronic doorknob as well, and they have a code for that. So that's convenient. We have a system on, if we're low on something, this is how you will communicate that with me and how we'll replenish it. So I want it to be convenient for you. So your job as a cleaner and turning over my spot is not slowed down or interrupted because we ran out of X, Y, and Z and I didn't replenish it. So when I say convenient for all, I mean all. But again, can't please everyone. So this next tip is very near and dear to my heart. I kind of already touched on it just a little bit in the other tip about convenience, but this tip is to always have backup. Backup, 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 backup. Always. So yes, I mentioned with my check-in process, I do have a backup key in a lockbox for guests to use conveniently for them if for some reason the electronic keypad is not working. But you also want to have backup in like literally every other aspect. Have backup cleaners ready for life to happen, because the cleaner, I don't know, their tire blew out or their son is sick or whatever the case is. So I do have a revolving, I have at least on any given moment, at least 3 cleaners who are ready to go for us. So I'm very thankful for that. So have backup way to check in to the house, have backup cleaners, have backup supplies. Of course, I think that goes without saying. So I have multiple sets of linens and towels and toilet paper, everything in the house that I supply for my guests or that I need my cleaners to eventually replenish, I have back up. And another thing too is to have backup handymen, because things do happen, and I'm handy, if I do say so myself, to an extent, but I'm not about to be the one fixing all the broken chairs or whatever these guests like to break. So I call up my go-to, like, hey, can you, fix this up? Oh, you can't, sorry. So I have people conveniently located in the neighborhood who can help out. And then I also have some other people who are great, quick, handy, reliable, and extremely extremely cost effective. This next tip is not to overdo it or overspend on your budget for decorations and decor, because truth be told, like, yes, you can add to the decor as time goes on, but I like to keep it simple, not too much clutter, not too much going on, because dust happens and things like that. I like to have very little for my cleaners to have to like focus on cleaning. I want them to focus on turning the beds over, carpets, floors, all that, microwave appliances, the list goes on. I don't want them to have to dust this painting or dust these fake plants and dust, all this kind of stuff. Like, yes, it helps with the feng shui, or, my place has just enough decorations, just enough stuff. Because I know there was a time when I was shopping for my next unit, like I think my second or third unit, I went crazy on OfferUp with the paintings, and none of it made sense. I just saw that, oh, this is cute, this is cheap, this is cute, this is cheap. And the paintings themselves did not go with the color scheme that we were going for. So to this day, I still have all of those paintings sitting, just, waiting for the next unit, or I might just sell them myself. But I say all that to say that you don't really want to go overboard with the decor, because don't nobody care? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody but me. And I'm not staying there. So it doesn't matter what I think, right? So just know that like certain things just really don't matter. Like, there in the beginning, like all of my units, I wanted to have like the fake fruit. I have like a jar of like fake lemons as a centerpiece for a lot of them. And I was just like, now my cleaners got to clean each and every piece of lemon, or they got to clean the glass jar. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, it's just not that serious. I had placemats and table mats, and people stained them like on day 2. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to replace these because they're not necessary. So just note that it's just not, don't spend too much on unnecessary decor. There's literally bulk items that every unit needs. Like I said, I supply certain amenities to my guests, so I know that that's more important. Spending money on stuff like that and shampoo and whatever is more important than having, live, love, laugh in the bathroom. Like, so just keep that in mind. Don't overspend on decor when it's not necessary. And if you really feel like you want the place to be like stylish and cute, just know that over time you can add things. You can even take things away. This tip kind of goes along with the convenience for all, especially you, the host. This tip is to automate as much as possible, as soon as possible. So like I said, initially I did already know off the bat to get an electronic doorknob, but I got the wrong brand, or I got a brand that didn't automate for me. So like I said, I was manually creating codes for every single guest that was staying, and that was just like too tedious, too daunting. So so I would suggest getting an August lock, and I did have to like trial and error which one that I like. So the August lock that comes with the keypad, I don't prefer. I actually like the August and Yale combination. One, because I really, really like Yale's lock as a product, and then August integration is like the sweet spot. Like, that's my go-to. That's the one that I found, and I've gone through a few. So that's the one that I found is like my go-to. So the check-in process is automatic. That email is sent. I don't have to think about it. And that check-in, cool, smooth. Then also, when it comes to communicating and correspondence with the guests, I have templates in Airbnb itself, as well as I use HomeAway VRBO as well. But I have the same message, same templates. I have a message from before they book to when they book, all the way to when they leave and after they leave. So every guest gets the exact same message. And of course, like frequently asked questions, I have templates for that, because I don't want to be typing out the same message, to every single person if they have the same questions. And if I notice that multiple people have the same question, I then throw it into my listing, because depending on what that question is, I don't want to keep answering it. And if they do ask, I'll just say, hey, refer to the listing, because that's already in there. I also have my pricing for my different listings automated, because to be honest, it's almost impossible to know everything that's going on in town. So knowing when to raise your prices, lower your prices, weekend prices. Some people do have like a flat rate like during the week, flat rate during the weekend. But if you really want to maximize your earning potential, it's best that you do have pricing that fluctuates and goes with the demand in town and during the peak seasons. So I use a website called Wheelhouse, and it, like I said, automates it for me. with Wheelhouse, they also look at comps, what other listings similar to yours are going for. They compare your listing to other comps, what you have that's better, whatever the case may be. But the most important thing is that the price fluctuates and it floats with whatever is happening in town, because there's so much, that's the truth, there's so much that goes on in in my area that I don't even know like 1/10 of what goes on that is needing or causing a high demand of tourism, travelers coming to Atlanta. So Wheelhouse is awesome. It's great. And I actually will leave a link down below in the description box with the sign up for you to be able to get, I think, either $10 or $20 worth of credit if you sign up for Wheelhouse using my link. So again, that's going to be down below in the description box. But I think that's very important to have something as vital as pricing automated, so you can just take that off your list. You don't have to worry about knowing what's going on in town. Realistically, like, you shouldn't be using your precious time to, sift through every event that's going on and then manually changing your price for it. So automate as much as possible, as soon as possible. Another thing you can do to automate as much as possible is you can add your cleaners to your schedule or your calendar, on Airbnb, so that they can see when a guest is checking out. That way they can schedule themselves and they know, like, I know the checkout time, I know the checkout date, so I'll be there to do the cleaning. So that's another thing that just cuts down, me having to, hey, so-and-so, I have a cleaning, can you make it this day? They already see, all right, cool, somebody booked, they're checking out on this day. Oh, they're not checking out, they extended, cool, so I'm just going to rearrange my schedule and know to clean on the extended day that they selected. So just to recap, this video does not detail every single thing you need to know before you get into an Airbnb or short-term rental business, but these are the things that I really felt I wanted to share, because these are things that I had to ruffle with, or I had to learn, growing pains kind of thing, when I first got started. So again, first tip that I shared was to keep it convenient for all. That's in your check-in process for the guests, that's for your cleaners, for yourself. And the next tip was to always have backup everything. The third tip that I shared was to not overdo it when it comes to budgeting for decor and just decorating in general. Just keep it simple, but keep it cute. And the last tip that I shared was to automate as much as possible, as soon as possible, because that saves you so much time and headache, and it also allows you to scale in the future. Alright, well, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into yet another video of mine. If you liked it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Comment below whatever your heart desires. Share this video all over the internet, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next video.